Good evening, and thanks for joining us for C.U.N.T.T tonight. Coming up, we have stories on the American dream made into nightmares. Hey, where do you think you're going? This is so unprofessional. Come on, camera one is nearly looking up my skirt. Cut to story, guys. This is bullshit.
Team 10 investigative reporter Austin Grabish has been covering the state's insurance crisis. He's reported on companies pulling out of the state and talked to homeowners facing nightmares trying to get insurance. Now he follows through and shows us how the state insurance commissioner is responding to this latest story.
Debbie Kirkwood doesn't love gardening, but it's what you'll find her doing every morning.
We're cutting down a lot. We're not going to go out to dinner anymore.
The retired public defender can no longer afford to pay a gardener. In June, she got this $13,000 bill from Farmers Insurance. Her premium was just $2,700 last year.
They said this is accurate, $13,163 a year.
Debbie moved into this gated community with a fire hall a quick drive away back in 2019. She says costs have been reasonable except for her insurance, which has gone up 900%.
What's your message to farmers?
Why did you do this to me? I'm upset. I've been a good customer for 17 years, never made a claim.
I wanted to know why Farmers Insurance spiked Debbie's insurance premium by so much. The company told me it can't comment on individual cases, but said wildfire risk is one of several factors it considers when setting rates. What do you think the insurance commissioner needs to do?
He needs to regulate all insurance companies so that no one gets a shocking letter like this.
A spokesperson for Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara says Debbie's story is similar to many other Californians. Quote, we have to first address availability and then address affordability. It's unrealistic to promise that prices will go down overnight. But with Commissioner Lara's sustainable insurance strategy, we are building a system where people pay for coverage they can actually get, not just be pushed onto the FAIR plan with higher premiums and limited protections. Debbie is the latest victim of California's insurance crisis who has contacted Team 10. In 2023, I showed you one landlord's nightmare trying to get coverage after he was suddenly dropped.
The minute I shared a Ramona zip code, they didn't even want to discuss it with me.
And in May, I talked to an Escondido senior who went to the California FAIR plan after being dropped by his carrier. The plan is considered the costly insurance of last resort due to its limited coverage.
I went from $900 to $3,600.
Back in Fallbrook, Debbie is trying to find another company to write her a policy.
Now you have this. Is your husband going to be able to retire?
No. No way.
She says if she doesn't find a carrier by the end of August, she may have to move out of her dream home. Austin Grabish, Team 10.
Truly heartbreaking, how that poor rich lady has to pull her own weeds. We now move to the Midwest for our continuing coverage of You're Not From Around Here, Are You, Boy?
Here we go. A violent nighttime attack on a young Jewish man in a downtown Nashville parking lot and the assault of a downtown bar employee ended today for a neo-Nazi in a Nashville courtroom. Good evening to you. I'm Carrie Sharp. Today, that neo-Nazi from Canada went before a judge for sentencing for his role in the attack that happened a year ago. His lawyer wanted probation, but the judge had another idea. News Channel 5 investigative reporter Phil Williams is joining us. You have been following these hate groups as they come to Tennessee, including this one. You were in the courtroom today.
That's right, and it was about a 90-minute hearing. And as we've seen before, the neo-Nazi's lawyer argued his client was being singled out for exercising his free speech rights. It was an argument that the judge wasn't buying, sentencing the man to almost 4 years in prison.
All right, we're here on the sentencing hearing of Mr. McCann.
For 30-year-old Canadian Ryan McCann, Judgment Day came.
So you have a problem with Jews in general, though?
Yes, I do.
A year after he and other members of the neo-Nazi Goyim Defense League descended upon Nashville, determined to make a scene.
Do you see the 6 in the nose? You see it? There's the 6.
This video, first obtained by News Channel 5 Investigates, shows the night that the group began taunting a young Jewish man in a downtown parking lot. Then suddenly...
Oh!
Here we go. McCann attacked and the group joined in.
Don't jump! Don't jump! Don't jump!
Afterwards, McCann and his crew celebrated.
Touch first. Fire, bro. Got that spinning elbow on that.
As a result of that incident, McCann was recently convicted of civil rights intimidation. McCann, seen here using his Nazi flag to jab an employee of a downtown bar, recently pleaded guilty to a separate misdemeanor charge for that incident.
To have so many international outlets express interest and write articles about this case, I've never seen that. Not from an assault.
When Steve Hazlip, the director of communications for the DA's office, took the stand to make the argument that the case was high profile and deserved a sentence that would send a message, McCann's lawyer, Olin Baker, pounced.
They manufactured this case. They manufactured all this press coverage.
Judge, if I could respond, if we manufactured the case, then how was it that Mr. McCann was convicted in one and pled guilty in another?
Part of Baker's argument stemmed from what we don't see on the video.
Get over there.
The young man who indicated he had been drinking pulled an AR-15 to fend off the neo-Nazis. Baker tried to get a detective to admit that the victim should have been prosecuted.
I'm not targeting a victim because they pulled a weapon in self-defense or is being pursued by Mr. McCann.
Prosecutor Wesley King.
The amount of chaos that could have happened based on what Mr. McCann was doing is something that, frankly, most of us in here don't even want to think about.
In the case of the downtown bar employee, Baker argued he threw the first punch and he was the one who should have been facing a judge.
And the state is here playing on sympathy. Hey, this guy right here is not likable. I want you to put him in prison.
In the end,
if this was just a First Amendment issue situation, we wouldn't be here.
Judge Steve Dozier said McCann's hateful views were not the issue. It was how his views led him to violate the civil rights of others. So here's how that sentence breaks down. McCann got 3 years for the civil rights intimidation, that nighttime assault on the young Jewish man, plus another 9 months on top of that for the assault with his Nazi flag.
And other members of this neo-Nazi group are still awaiting trial.
Yeah, you've been keeping track.
I have.
As we have mentioned, another person involved in that nighttime assault was recently arrested in Arizona. He's fighting extradition back to Tennessee. Another man is awaiting trial for a completely separate incident at Nashville's Gordon Jewish Community Center.
Sadly, it is a lot of hate to cover right in our hometown.
That's right.
Phil, thank you.
Truly horrific. Thanks for the reporting, Guy. For our final story, we move to the Southwest 4. Is there ice water in hell?
Diablo Grande, once envisioned as a golf resort paradise, is now at risk of going dry. ABC's Luke Cleary has the story tonight.
A patchwork of green in the Stanislaus County foothills, the resort community of Diablo Grande is now at a crossroads.
The families who bought into life here at Diablo Grande bought into a dream. These hillside views, vineyards, golf courses, all of it built on a simple promise, a steady supply of water.
The sunburned hills surrounding the development offer a warning. This is what happens if the water pumped from the aqueduct stops. And now, the Western Hills Water District is proposing a massive rate hike just to keep the taps open.
We're on a shoestring here, and I can barely keep this district running and keeping clean water to everybody.
President Mark Kovich faced a packed clubhouse in early June to deliver the uncomfortable message: pay more or risk losing your water. The Western Hills Water District supplies Diablo Grande with water from the Kern County Water Agency. In a letter, the Kern County Water Agency warned it will cut off service June 30th unless Diablo Grande property owners approve the hike from $145 a month to $569.
Or they say maybe they want a little more, maybe $700, $800. That's what's scaring me.
Scaring all of us.
Okay, then there's no answers though, is what I'm trying to figure out, the frustration.
How do you feel like this is going?
Not well.
Debbie Antigua heads the action committee organizing public meetings.
The residents are very concerned. They don't know whether or not they're going to have water.
The Kern County Water Agency says it's ending its contract with Western Hills because the district owes the agency more than $13 million and hasn't made a payment since 2019. The letter states that if the rate hike passes, Kern will keep the water flowing until December 31st to give Western Hills time to find another supplier.
You keep saying something about it's good until December.
Retired nurse Lydia Stewart is one of many asking hard questions.
We're on Social Security, limited income. What are we supposed to do?
She and her husband James say they put their life savings into a new home here in 2018.
What was that like for you?
A dream, because I've worked so hard. I've taken care of so many people.
But that dream home now hangs in the balance. They won't be able to sustain the higher rate for long on top of the mortgage and other bills.
We only have a certain income. That's why we picked up here, because we could afford just that. We didn't expect this big lump sum to be dumped on us.
We're victims in all of this, right? We've paid our bill.
Katie Whitney and her husband moved to Diablo Grande in 2012 to retire.
The dream was to, move up here, someday retire and, play golf every day.
The rate hike will be uncomfortable. What's unthinkable is losing water altogether.
When you're thinking about retiring and there's a possibility that your home won't be livable, it's a little bit more than your dream slipping away, right? There's a feeling of, how did we get here? How in the world did we get here?
And not on the fault of us. We've paid everything we've had to pay. It was the stuff that happened before we moved here.
What happened before is a long story. This was Diablo Grande in 2016, a world-class golf resort community built to expand. And here it is today. The golf courses closed, the grass dried out, and of the 5,000 homes promised, only a fraction, around 600, were ever built.
You bought this place in 2011. What was it like?
2011. It was awesome. Everything was green.
Doug Moore bought a home overlooking the 13th hole.
This is what it looked like when we moved in. It was a dream location for us.
He spent years trying to help other homeowners understand how it came to this.
The first instinct they had when they see a rate increase that's triple what they were paying, is one of anger, and it hit them by surprise. I wasn't surprised. I've been following this for years.
The Western Hills Water District blames the former developers for the millions in unpaid water bills to Kern County Water Agency. Initially, the developers subsidized the cost of water to boost growth. But when the housing project stalled and the developers effectively went out of business, the payments stopped and the debts piled up.
I worry about it every day. Keeps me up at night.
With time running out, the new board now scrambling for a new water source for Diablo Grande, asking state and local leaders for help.
Everybody is just very frustrated that nobody wants to do anything. The answers we get is, you're on your own.
Stanislaus County officials say they can't intervene either.
It is an issue that must be handled here locally with a local district. I know that's a tough answer, that's a tough message.
And Debbie Antigua says her calls to the state have led nowhere.
We've called for the community to, email all these agencies, and they have. And they just, we're forwarding you on to another agency. Okay, which one? Because nobody's coming.
It's a common question here. Is anyone coming to help? We also reached out to the state. The Department of Water Resources and the governor's office say this is a local matter, and the state has no official role in resolving it.
It's very hard to believe that, there isn't an entity that can come forward and help us find a solution, find a way out of this.
Just work with us and find a solution is what we're asking, and they won't even talk to us.
The resort community built on a dream in the rugged California foothills, now fighting to stay afloat. For now, the water is still flowing, but at what cost and for how long? In Diablo Grande, Luke Clary, ABC 10.
The Western Hills Water District is in talks with the Patterson Irrigation District about a potential water supply solution, but a new pipeline could be years away. The rate hike decision comes on Saturday, so I think it goes out saying we are going to continue following this story.
Well, that's the show. I want to remind you, no matter how bad you have it, someone else can cry too.